and fetched her a blanket. Again and again this happened, but the heap of blankets failed to help. At last, desperately freezing, the sister insisted the Lord would surely forgive them for acting as a married couple to keep warm for a single night. Full of joy, the father agreed. "Aye," he cried, "from now on, you'll fetch the blankets on your own." Shan paused to read the audience. Only tepid smiles, but not to fret. Experience had taught him to skip to his impressions, normally the second part of his act. From endless practice, he proceeded to reshape his voice into a colorful range of characters. Fists on his hips, he transformed into a harping Irish mother. A lick of the lips, and he was a whistling Yankee, his new favorite for many a reason. With shoulders hunched, he became a dumber-than-ox Englishman. Still, for all of this, he earned only a sprinkling of snickers. His palms slickened with sweat. Insulting the Brits usually endeared even the hardest Irish crowd. Since late January, when the War of Independence began, sentiments against the Crown had ratcheted to a higher level, if that were even possible. Perhaps this explained why Shan sensed a swelling desire in the room to take aim at a target. And that's just what he'd become if he didn't switch course. A silly song would hopefully do. In the warbling style of folk singer Eugene Fitzpatrick, he belted out, "'Twas sure I fell in love when I fell into me ale." Nerves magnified cracks in Shan's voice, a growing curse of his age, and he found relief at finishing the tune, though none from the room's intensity. The few sounds from the audience came from an old man being repeatedly woken by his own nasally snores, and from a lady giggling at a far table where a scruffy man in a flannel shirt tickled her sides. She wore a dress as bold as her red lips, the sort of woman who, according to Uncle Will, charged for the pleasure of her company. When she leaned forward, her bosoms rose in large white mounds, resembling loaves from the baker. Shan fought the urge to stare. He mined his memory for material and remembered Murphy, a made-up fool of a drunk. If nothing else, the tales could fill enough time to secure a free supper, his personal reward from the pubs. His stomach growled as he launched into a story. He was halfway through when a burly man pushed back from his table and shot to his feet. "What's that you're saying about me, boy?" "Ah, Murphy," hollered an older man. "The lad wasn't talking about you. Sit down on your arse." Murphy swayed as if riding the internal waves of his liquor. Shan forced a swallow. "Did I say Murphy, sir? What I meant, of course, was Mickey. My apologies for the error." The man held a stern face, but slowly reclaimed his seat. Shan sighed to himself before praying to the good Lord that no one in the room was a Mickey. "Now then," he tried again. "I believe I was describing the day Mickey awoke covered in mud and feathers, head to toe." No one spoke out, a fortunate thing. Shan was about to continue when once more his belly grumbled. This time it brought a hunger so strong it jellied his knees. He tightened his legs to keep his balance, but the shift of weight caused a loud crack beneath his boots. Before he could adjust, the crate gave way, and he landed hard on his rear. Laughter broke out in the room. He hurried to rise from the wooden floor, brushing grime and spilled ale from his clothes. "What's that you were singing about?" a man called to him. "Something about falling, was it?" The laughter spread, but Shan didn't rejoice. Embarrassment and anger formed a bitter reply on his tongue. The words churned and expanded, preparing to spew free. Just in time, he gulped them down, remembering Uncle Will. Shan dared to look over. Beside the bar, his uncle and the pub owner were engaged in a chat. A welcome discovery until Shan noted the sharpness of their eyes. Uncle Will shook something, a coin, in his right fist. The owner stood a good foot shorter, but in the manner of one not intimidated by height. As if to prove as much, he crossed his arms and jutted his chin. The challenge wasn't missed by Uncle Will, whose clenched jaw signaled a rage in the making. Shan bristled, a reflex. His body was well aware of where those rages led. The scars on his neck and hip throbbed as a reminder, urging him to take cover. Alas, he had no